Hey, I'm Greg Mann with Greater Orlando Realty, and welcome back to the GMANN Show. Have you ever been dumped by an insurance company? Has the cost of your policy hit the roof? Because if you've had both of those things happen to you, I've got to introduce you to John Tankersley. John, welcome to the show. You're the insurance solver. Tell me, what is going on in this industry right now?
Well, my pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. And thank you for making me the Statue of Liberty when it comes to home insurance in Florida. I don't know if I want that title, but I've been in the insurance business since 1994, and I started property and casualty insurance in 1999. Started my agency in 2001, and I've been in the biz for a long time. I can truly say this is the most volatile, it's the most restrictive, and it's the worst environment for property insurance that Floridians have ever had to face when it comes to home insurance. It's something that started really in the fourth quarter of 2019. We had, I think it's 7 or 8 property insurance companies over the last 14 to 15 months that have left the state, become insolvent, been purchased by another company, or have just non-renewed huge swaths of policyholders throughout the state. It's a mess. Greg.
Now, is this due to the hurricanes, the weather? They just don't like people in Florida? What the heck?
So most of the companies that sell policies to your clients and real estate mortgage folks that have folks that need insurance, they are Florida domestics. They are domiciled in Florida. They sell insurance in Florida. They're Florida property insurance companies. We are not in the spot that we're in because of a catastrophe. Now, of course, Hurricane Ian and Hurricane Nicole, those aren't good, but we're not largely in the state that we're in, no pun intended, because of a catastrophe or a large catastrophic event which facilitated a lot of claims. We are in the position we're in as Floridians when it comes to property insurance, home insurance, because of the environment that we have created. It's man-made, and I want to preface my next comments by these comments. There are lots of wonderful, ethical, terrific people in the public adjusting business, in the attorney business, and in the roofing business. They do a fabulous job for their clients, and they're wonderful with their product and their services and their consumer advocacy. We've got some bad actors, Greg. And here's a stat that might blow your mind. Florida accounts for 8% of the property insurance claims nationally, which is not bad because you think about us being on a peninsula surrounded by bathwater on 3 sides. We account for 78% of the litigation in
wow.
the country. So that means 49 other states, and always think about Texas and California, because they're just as wacky as Florida is, account for 22% of the insurance litigation. Florida accounts for 78% of the insurance litigation nationally.
That's off the charts. I mean,
it's insane.
What is happening there? How does it get to that point?
So I think it's a combination of things evolving or devolving, whatever word you want to use, over time. Florida became a very friendly state as it pertains to litigation, when plaintiff attorneys with insurance carriers. The insurance companies that are domiciled in Florida, that sell insurance in Florida or regionally in the Southeast, they never thought they were going to have this challenge. It's not something that they looked at and said, well, we're going to have a bunch of these folks do this. So they didn't file their policy filings with that in mind. Yeah. And that's not to say that there's not a lot of thought went into that, because it did. But I think it's a combination of a lot of folks like to litigate in Florida, and a lot of the insurance carriers on the property side, they might have been caught off guard a little bit.
Yeah, it sounds that way, to be honest. So the consumer's getting hit hard right now.
They are.
You can't get insurance. Home buyers are struggling to get insurance.
Yeah.
People that own homes now are getting dumped. I've been dumped twice in the last few months. It's getting ridiculous, you know. How do we fix it? I mean, someone comes to you. When should a home buyer come to you to even start thinking about insurance?
I think that's a great question. And I actually taught a CE class this morning to a group of real estate agents before I came here for the podcast. And I can tell you that insurance used to be an ancillary thing.
Yeah.
It was something that you picked up the week of closing or the week before closing. It was something that you did and you just kind of checked the box. That's all changed. There are less companies writing policies in Florida. They cost more. The average premium in Central Florida is about $2,800 a year, and it takes longer to quote a policy and longer to issue a binder for your closing. So what I would say to all of your clients and to our real estate and mortgage friends out there, as soon as you enter into the inspection period, day one, you've written a contract, they've accepted it, we're now on the road to trying to close. Don't wait. If you're a new home buyer or you're a new home buyer to Florida, because we got a lot of folks moving from different states, don't wait, be proactive, start looking for insurance immediately.
Yeah. So what the person coming to the state of Florida from another state, they're gonna have a sticker shock for sure.
They are.
And if they can get insurance, let's just say they're buying this beautiful house and the roof is 20 years old and they've got polybutylene pipe and they've got one of these, the 5 boxes of doom. What do we do?
So what I try to do, and it's so, we did not talk before the show. I basically came in and you grabbed me and say, come on, let's go. But to your point, I get emails all the time from real estate folks and people who are represented by realtors who are trying to get home insurance, and they'll give me the current situation with the house. What we try to do is scenario quote, like, okay, here's what a quote is probably going to look like, but we need that 4-point inspection. We need that double tap wiring taken care of, which is very minor, takes about an hour. Yep. We need that Federal Pacific Electric panel switched out before or right after closing, and there's different companies that have different guidelines for that. These are things that you can do. Find out where you're at with an estimate, and then here's the things that you need to do in the real estate transaction to get you across the finish line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's lots, you and your team, you're wonderful at it. I think you had some gentlemen on earlier with the inspection folks.
Certainly did, yep.
Those are crucial. I can tell you right now, if you're buying property in Florida, the home inspection, the 4-point and the wind mitigation inspection are insurance-specific inspections. They've never been more crucial than they are right now.
No, they are, yeah.
Okay.
And they're not expensive. Those inspections are pretty inexpensive to get done.
They're not.
And when you're buying a home, the inspector will just do it at that time. So it's worth spending that money, isn't it?
A lot of those inspectors, it is. A lot of those inspectors will carve it out, and then they'll I think it's $200 to $250. It may even be less, and they bundle them together. Yep. It provides the most availability and the most affordability to you as a new homeowner when it comes to insurance solution. What's the line in the sand? When should I get a 4-point and a wind mitigation inspection? I'm going to tell you right now, it's homes that are 2008 and older.
Yes.
Doesn't sound very, very old. Doesn't sound like an old home.
No, not at all. No.
But that's where we are. 15 years and older, if you have those 2 inspections, Greg, you got your best chance for an insurance solution for your closing. If you're on the listing side as a listing agent, get one done in your pre-inspection. Get an insurance quote, and that way you can gift it to the buyer's agent along with a quote scenario and say, here's what I think you're looking at. So you just have to, you got to think about it more.
You do. You
got to be involved.
You've really got, actually, you've got to be out in front of the game.
Yep.
That's what you got to do. Now, we're going to take a short break, but John, how do people get hold of you if they want to talk insurance to you? You know, I want a policy, how do I call you?
So it's John at johntankersley.com, and it's gethomeinsurancenow.com, and my phone number 407-227-0854. That's my cell. Yes, I pick it up. Those are the ways that you reach me if you need some help.
Awesome. Well, I'm Greg Mann from Greater Orlando Realty. We'll be right back with more from John Tankersley talking insurance. We'll be coming up with a mortgage minute, so stay tuned.
Managing your investment property is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Sign up at GoRent123.com. 2. Let Greater Orlando Realty handle everything for you when it comes to managing your property. From qualifying tenants to collecting rent, processing maintenance requests, and everything in between. 3. Sit back, relax, and count all that money you're making. Earning passive income on your property is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Greater Orlando Realty. Visit GoRent123.com today.
Hey, welcome back to the GMANN Show. Here with Laura Collins from First International Title. Laura, tell me what you do, tell me how you do it, and tell me how people get hold of you.
Thank you. I am Laura Collins with First International Title. My phone number is 314-265-9000. And I always appreciate a text to get to know me. I am one of the sales reps for the downtown office of First International Title. We do have 37 offices, and I represent our downtown office and Waterford Lakes office. One of the things about me with my clients are realtors and loan officers mostly, and anybody that's selling their house, they get to choose their title company. And so that's why a lot of people depend on their realtors to choose their title company, and that's why they're my clients. I have worked at Disney for 20 years, and anybody that works with me is going to have that kind of customer service that Disney has instilled in me. I love to help, I love to be available, and I want to make sure that they are growing their business, and it is about them.
So you'll do open houses, you'll go to offices, you'll help agents build their business, all with a cheerful smile. How do people get hold of you?
You can, again, get a hold of me, 314-265-9000.
Hey, I'm Greg Mann from Greater Orlando Realty and back with the GMANN Show. Going to continue the conversation with John Tankersley about insurance. The state of Florida's been doing a lot of things, I guess trying to keep out in front of the curve. John, welcome back.
Thank you.
This could be a little bit of a heavy session, but let's keep it light if we can. State of Florida, what are they doing about this insurance dilemma we have?
Okay, so the good news is on December 14th, Florida passed, state legislature passed important legislation which was a giant step forward to improving property insurance situation in Florida. So Floridians who are homeowners, there are things that happened in December. It's going to take a little time to bake in, but help is on the way. Things are going to get better by some of the legislation that was passed in December. And the whole goal of that was to facilitate a situation where you've got companies that are coming into Florida, they want market share, they want to write policies in Florida, they can do so and be actuarially sound and make money and compete fairly in the market. And when you have more carriers writing policies for Florida homeowners, it's a better thing for Florida homeowners when it comes to property insurance. And I know that Citizens, I hear a lot about this almost weekly. Myself and my team, we write Citizens property insurance policies. Citizens kind of gets maybe demonized a little bit.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Okay, they're not. Mm-hmm. They're actually a lot of good folks trying to do good things. They're actually not the most expensive insurance option right now. All of the newspapers and the news stories that come out, they say Citizens is supposed to be the insurer of last resort.
Yes.
They're actually more competitive on their quoting than many of the standard market private carriers. So some of the legislation is aimed at making Citizens not the least expensive, forcing companies to come in and compete fairly, and so prices of homeowners insurance overall are going to go down, not up. Now, when is the pain point for Citizens? We're already there, Greg. We've already passed it. When Citizens eclipses 1 million policyholders in the state, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I believe it was in September or October of last year, it was 1.3 million. So Citizens is trying to depopulate. They're trying to move people out of citizen status and get them to private companies. So this legislation starts to handle it. Basically, what it's trying to do is we need more people selling property insurance in Florida, so that's what the legislation was trying to garner or get.
Well, I'm glad you touched on that, because whenever I speak to a buyer, if I'm working with a buyer and they say, "Oh, Citizens, oh gosh, last resort. What's wrong with this house? What's wrong with me?" It's not that case anymore, is it? That they've stepped up to the plate. They offer us the same sort of insurance.
It's a very fair policy.
Very fair policy, isn't it? Another thing that really bothers me right now in the state of Florida is, obviously, we got the polybutylene pipes. Yeah. So if you've got a home with polybutylene pipe, I know that you have carriers that will cover that.
Yep.
But it's always read the fine print kind of thing, because is it really coverage or is it limited coverage?
It's limited coverage. That's a great point, great question, you brought it up. If you've got polybutylene plumbing in your home, and it's an all or nothing thing, you can't have mostly one type of plumbing and a little bit of polybutylene, the insurance gods are going to treat it all the same. They're going to restrict coverage on internal water damage. Now, they're either going to put a sublimit on it of maybe $10,000, or they're just going to say any internal water, like pipe leaks and slab leaks and pipe bursts, we're not going to cover until you switch out the plumbing.
Got you, got you. So with that said, you've got other options. You can go and get your home re-plumbed, re-piped. Yeah. We've got a 12-year-old, 13-year-old hot water heater.
Yeah.
Same thing. Does that got to go? Can it stay?
It can stay. If it's outside, if it's on pavers or in the garage, the age limit is 20 years. Same as AC units.
Yes.
Gang. If it's inside, if it's in an attic, or if it's in a utility room or a laundry room, it's 14 years.
That's really cleared things up, because that is confusing for a lot of people right now. It's confusing for agents. You know, I've seen heaters last way past 20 years, and of course, obviously, they're not efficient, and you should get rid of them. But so how do you see 2023 for the insurance industry, for you? Do you see policies difficult to get? Or is it going to lighten up a little bit? Will the consumer see some, you know, light at the end of the tunnel?
So the answer to all that is it's still going to be bumpy, but we're still going to struggle, but help's on the way. And here's what I think will happen from a rate environment for Florida. And I'm going to speak specifics on Central Florida because that's predominantly my market, from the East Coast over to the West Coast. So the average property insurance premium for Central Florida will be about $2,800 to $3,000 a year. That's everything baked in. So the premiums are going to continue to be a little bit more elevated. I think the availability of insurance is not going to be much more greatly diminished. I don't think it's going to be as tough. We had all these carriers that couldn't make it, or they non-renewed a bunch of business, and now they're gone.
Yeah.
So I think that has largely come to the other side. Now there's a whole nother topic, that's a whole nother show, and you will bring your cry towel, and that's when we talk about reinsurance. But some of the legislation in December's legislative session has a reinsurance subsidy by the state of Florida. But by and large, I don't think you're going to see the number of carriers go under that we did in the past. I think your average premium is going to be $2,800 to $3,000. I do think that when you get past next year's renewal into 2024, there's going to be more carriers in the state, and premiums have an opportunity to come down.
That's awesome. Now, you have the option to shop multiple carriers.
Right, I'm a broker.
So that you're a broker, that's fantastic. You can get the best deal for any consumer.
Yep.
How does a consumer get hold of you to go through that process?
They go to gethomeinsurancenow.com. They fill out some basic information. Takes them about 2 minutes. If you're a real estate or mortgage professional, you can do it for your client. You can attach 4-point inspections, wind mitigation inspections. Mortgage folks are going to know this, 1003s and appraisals. And myself and my team get it instantaneously, because the biggest thing is, did they get it? Are they going to call me back?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we get it instantaneously, and we start working on it so that you can close on time. You can go to john@johntankersley.com and shoot me an email. You can call me on my cell phone, 407-227-0854, and say, hey, I need some help. Can you help me?
That's awesome, John. I want to thank you, John, for coming on the show. I think you're one of the finest gentlemen in the insurance business. I really enjoy everything you do for the industry alone. You do teaching for real estate agents. You put yourself out there. You're doing everything you can. So just remember, John Tankersley of Get Home Insurance Now. If you want to get hold of me, it's Greg Mann on 407-774-9858. Thanks for watching the GMANN Show. We'll be right back with the Mortgage Minute.
Managing your investment property is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Sign up at GoRent123.com. 2. Let Greater Orlando Realty handle everything for you when it comes to managing your property. From qualifying tenants to collecting rent, processing maintenance requests, and everything in between. 3. Sit back, relax, and count all that money you're making. Earning passive income on your property is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Greater Orlando Realty. Visit GoRent123.com today.
Hey, I'm Greg Mann from Greater Orlando Realty. Welcome back to the GMANN Show. And we've got the Mortgage Minute with Sonia from Edge Home Finance. And Sonia, how are you today?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Good, good. So 2023, it's a year, exciting year. Everyone's moving forward. People want to buy like crazy. They want to get loans. Some people are going to be buying a fixer-upper.
Yes.
And they may be tight on cash. Is there any sort of financing that can help them get that home?
Yes, actually, it's a wonderful one. It's a really great one. And like you said, it's a 2023, market is changing, so a lot of investors are coming on the market. They want to see what options they have. So I have an amazing loan actually for that. It's called the DSCR loan. It's called Debt Service Coverage Ratio loan. And what that does is you don't need to show income. You don't need to show, it's one of those loans where people are just promoting business, investors to join in. And the rental income covers the income that's required. So you don't have to show personal income. So an amazingly nice
So that's
loan.
pretty interesting. So a guy wants to invest in some real estate, buy some fixer-uppers, get some folks in there. What if the guy is not wanting to throw, it's not an investment property, it's a homestead property? Is there an option for that? Is there an FHA program?
There is an FHA loan, 203K loan. So yes, so there's an FHA loan that does the same thing for primary, fixed properties that need work. We actually finance the work that needs to be done as well as the property. So, yes,
so if it's a homestead property, somebody can purchase using the FHA 203K plan?
Yes.
And that enables them to purchase the property that needs some fixing up.
So there's requirements. They want to make sure that the person that's going to be fixing the home is permitted and insured and covered. So it gets followed and make sure the buyer is, covered against any, contractors that may not want to follow the rules. So it's a very good process to where the buyer is covered, the agent is involved, everybody's fully, part of the process from the beginning to the end.
Good. And now, just very quickly at the end of this one, because we've not talked about interest rates yet. We're in the very beginning of 2023. Are rates going up? Are they going down? Or are they leveled out slightly?
So they've leveled out. They kind of came down a little bit, in the last week. But we are going to wait to see what's going to happen in 23. It's going to towards the end of 23. The thought is they will come down lower. And so right now, I telling all my buyers, we just don't know for sure. It's like, how can you guess on something what's going to happen? So it's always a good idea to be ready in case you do want to buy. It never hurts to be ready. Rates are not as bad as people think. Yes, they've gone up some, but historically they're still low.
So if somebody wants to make a loan application, how do they get hold of you, Sonia, to do that?
Yes, my phone number is 407-403-8658, and my website is loanswithsonia.com.
Hey, thanks so much, Sonia. Great seeing you on the show again. I'm Greg Mann from Greater Orlando Realty. You're watching the GMANN Show, and we will be right back.
Managing your investment property is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Sign up at GoRent123.com. 2. Let Greater Orlando Realty handle everything for you when it comes to managing your property. From qualifying tenants to collecting rent, processing maintenance requests, and everything in between. 3. Sit back, relax, and count all that money you're making. Earning passive income on your property is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Greater Orlando Realty. Visit GoRent123.com today.
Hey, I'm Greg Mann and welcome back to the GMANN Show. Today's featured property can be seen on GoRent123.com. We have a beautiful 2-2 in Crown Oaks Way in Longwood. 24-hour gated guard. Fresh carpets, fresh paint. This place is immaculate. Please go to our website, GoRent123.com. This unit's priced at $1,850, so if you want to look at it, give me a call, 407-774-9858, or the website, GoRent123.com. Thanks for watching the GMANN Show. I'll see you next time.